So we're back to the T-square. We've already talked about the fact that Lean Six Sigma is not, just process improvement. It's not always process improvement. Clearly, if it takes too long to hire somebody, I'm probably going to map that process out. And I'm probably going to take some steps out using some lean techniques that I'll cover with you in other modules. And I'm probably going to do some process improvement. But I've done a lot of projects where it's simply the wrong setting on a machine or the wrong tool, or in services, the wrong formula in an Excel spreadsheet. And to me, we solved a problem. Okay? So the second thing that Lean Six Sigma is not is quality. I'm sorry, but if you're out there looking at competitive programs and, on slide 1 or 2 of their website, they mention Edward Deming or Duran, you are probably getting a quality course. Probably my greatest nemesis sometimes in this topic are my production operations professors who refuse to believe that Lean Six Sigma is anything different than TQM. Well, TQM isn't around anymore, so that would be one of my arguments. But really, Lean Six Sigma is a management philosophy. A management philosophy. I met up and had lunch with a former black belt a few months ago, and I asked her, what's the major thing you've been using from my course? She's been out of the course for a couple years now. What would be your big takeaway? And she said, Lee, I am known in meetings as saying, that's an opinion, where's your data? And I said to her, boy, if that is all you've retained, I'm sure she retained more. She's been certified and done several projects. But if that's all you retained, I mean, that is the essence of the course. That's an opinion. Where's your data? Okay? So the management philosophy is several things, and I'll highlight them real quick. One, we keep talking about this why metric. The customer defines the why. The customer defines the why. So FedEx can deliver something to my house for a vendor, and the vendor and FedEx can say it is on time, but I'm really the one at the end of the day that says whether or not it was on time. If FedEx or UPS or one of the delivery companies hid it behind the bushes for safety purposes, and I spent a day looking for it, I might record that as late. But the customer defines the why metric. Number two, the customer defines a defect. The customer defines a defect. So these two go together. So for example, I'm a pretty big time coffee drinker, and I have maybe a higher need than others, but I like hot coffee. I am notorious for being at hotels and getting some coffee in the morning and then asking the waitress to microwave it. And I bring that up because the waitress will usually say, we just put it in the pot, we just made it, it is hot. Okay, well, the reason we have a disagreement is hot is an opinion. Okay, so I'm the customer. I define the why as temperature when it touches the mouth, right? So when it touches my mouth is when I measure hot. And I've actually, I guess sometimes Lean Six Sigma affects your personal life. I've actually started to measure it, and I like it at about 175 degrees Fahrenheit, okay? So what that means is, if you're serving me coffee, anything below 175 is a defect, all right? Now, just as a side note, I'm a big believer in the customer is not always right. If I'm the only customer complaining about this coffee not being hot, you should ignore me, and I would not tee it up as a Lean Six Sigma project. But if we're getting a lot of people complaining that coffee isn't hot, there you go. We got a problem. We could apply Lean Six Sigma. All right? So the management philosophy. A couple other things that I would highlight as well. In that example, notice that I said that we cannot fix opinion data. So you're going to hear this from me throughout the course. You can't fix opinion data. I had to make hot measurable so that we could apply the principles that I'm going to teach you to it. Okay? So the other thing about quality, the issue with quality, and this will be introducing one of your lean terms, is quality by definition, I'll put it right here, is non-value added. Now, don't get me wrong, if any of you are quality people or in a quality job, you are value added. I value you. I value the work you do. However, Lean has a specific definition for value add. We'll cover it again in later modules, but just very quickly, if your step does not physically change the thing, so if I'm the maker of this pen, looking at it does not physically change it, then it's non-value added. Also, I as a customer, when I buy this, I don't say, gee, I hope someone that made this had another person look at it and make sure it was good. I expect this to be good. So my goal in life, and it makes some quality folks nervous, is to get rid of your quality department. All right, I want to get rid of the quality department because the quality department looks for defects, tries to find defects when, maybe this will be the last thing of the philosophy, is you don't make a defect. And look, I'm driving principles here. I'm not saying you can necessarily do this, but I need you to think, wouldn't it be better to spend the time to not make a defect in the first place so that I don't have to look for defects? We need to change our thinking in terms of how we look at quality. And then lastly, and this has pretty much gone away, but years ago, I've been doing Lean Six Sigma since 1998. I used to get a lot of clients call up and ask, do you have any non-manufacturing examples? Today, if you want an industry that probably leads in the application of Lean Six Sigma, it would be healthcare. Healthcare, the big why they care about, of course, is cost and quality. And they are constrained by the federal government setting a lot of their price points. They cannot raise price, so they're going after cost heavily. So really today, Lean Six Sigma is for all functions. It works in all functions. You know why? Because all functions have problems. All functions have mathematical Y metrics that they can improve upon. HR can work on how long it takes to hire somebody. HR can work on whether or not people can log in on their first day of work. Manufacturing can work on scrap. Manufacturing can work on absenteeism. Sales can work on missing plan or missing forecast. Marketing can be working on whether or not people answer the survey, and the list goes on and on. I can give you an example of problem solving in every industry out there today. So hope you enjoyed this module. I'll see you in the next one.